Welcome to part 3. In part 1, I explained how to bring a video reference into Maya. In part 2, I bored you with how to block out a shot, which is basically a jump. And in this part, I'll be splining the blocked version, trying to keep this video as short and informative as possible. It will be a wrong idea to move to spline unless your blocking pass has all the elements of movement like keys, extremes and breakdowns. Because it is more important to establish the movement first rather than just smoothing the animation. You have to make sure that the idea that you are trying to convey is clear and the actions are working pretty believably. Make sure to establish the holds in blocking phase, then only you should move to spline, else it will float like a boat. Generally, I like to switch from spline tangent to step tangent and vice versa while blocking and make sure my timing is working before I jump to final spline pass. This process also saves me a lot of time. I was taught in the very beginning of my career to make the graphs look clean and smooth, which is a wrong idea and kind of a dangerous idea to give to a beginner. I wouldn't name the process cleaning graphs. The way I look at it is like giving meaning to the graphs. In the blocking pass, if you do step blocking like I did in the previous video, you are putting the poses which has logic to be in there. Like if there is an anticipation, you are pushing a single pose that describes the anticipation. And in that case, the graph is holding that particular information. When you clean graphs without knowing what you are actually doing, you might accidentally changing that blocking information. Like here, I can see a stiff curve in the graph editor. If I try to smooth out the curve, it will be wrong, because the stiffness represents the height of the hip with respect to the quick timing followed by a hang time. If you are putting the poses in correct place in timeline and has a correct mechanics, your graph will be cleaned automatically. In this spline pass, you are actually editing timing. Remember this, a good looking graph has very little to do with a good looking animation. Splining does not mean making the animation smooth. It's more like making the animation believable. I usually keep a playblast of the final blocking to match the crispiness of the timing in spline pass and also respect the holds. Here I'll be keeping a special eye on pushing and landing weights of the feet. It should feel like it is pushing the body, not the body pulling the leg. Also, I got this opportunity to push the idea that throwing the hands has an effect on pulling the body. I have kept the action clean and separate in the blocking stage. Now it's time to blend the actions together. In this case, I'll change the place where the hands are being thrown with respect to the spine up action. I'm getting a good opportunity to work with the follow through of the spine. In general, check for pinning. Here, there is a pinning happening in this point. So I move the hip down to get rid of this odd pinning thing. I have heard this question quite a few times now. Should I add moving hold in this stage? To me, moving holds are very interesting thing and this has become a thumb rule now. If you can keep your character in a good pose, a dead hold will not bother your audience too much. To me, spline pass is like a sophisticated blocking version of the shot. So I like to keep dead holds for this stage and take care of it in the polish pass. But if there is a time crunch, I would make it a moving hold. It's up to you what you like to do. This pass is mostly for finalizing timing, spacing, arc and overlap, all those basics, and acting choices if there is anything. These were the points that I usually keep in mind while splining a blocking pass. If I missed anything or if you wish to know something specific, let me know in the comment section below. To conclude this video, this is in-betweening stage. After this stage, your animation should look complete to a common man's eye. Thanks for watching so far. One more thing. If you want your shot to be reviewed, you can contact me on this email ID. I'll try to help you with no money transactions involved, which means free of cost. Have fun, happy animating, and have a better tomorrow. See you again.